World, Nicholas Coriano here today to discuss with you guys if you guys are in the wrong line of work. You know, in one of my previous videos, I told you guys how I self-retired myself before 40. And, you know, I had an epiphany. We're in March. What are we in? May. May, about to be June 2021. I'm going to show you guys this view, man. Check this out. How beautiful is that, guys? How beautiful is that? So, I want you guys to start asking yourself, am I in the right line of work? Am I in the right line of work? This is a question I had to ask myself. I'm going to go back inside to make sure you guys get this message. This is a question I had to ask myself, you know, just back in January this year. You know, for those of you guys that don't know who I am, went to business school, went to law school, graduated both. 20 online businesses, service-based businesses, product-based businesses. Also own a laundromat in upstate New York, 36 apartments, 30 pieces of land, bunch of businesses. But I had to ask myself, you know, in January, was I in the right vehicle? Was I in the right vehicle? What do I mean by this? I'm gonna get this over here for you guys so I can. Was I in the right vehicle? So what do I mean? You know, in January, I asked myself this. I said, man, Nick, are you in the right vehicle to make $1 billion? One of my dreams has always been to have a private jet. So I'm asking myself, can I get this before 40? I'm 38. Can I get this before 40? And am I in the right vehicle? Now, you know, most business ventures you're in, if you just lock in and focus, many of them can do it for you. I don't care if you're selling peanut butter. I don't care if you're, you know, have a coffee shop and you wanna make more coffee shops. But most of them will do it to you. And I thought for the longest time that my consulting business could do it for me. And it probably could. And I also thought that my real estate business could do it for me. And that also probably could. But, you know, in life they say there's no shortcuts, but there are faster ways. Right? So don't confuse the idea that there's no shortcuts with there's not faster ways. There's faster ways to do certain things. And I had to start getting honest with myself about, am I in the right vein of work? Am I in the right vein of work? Is this the most optimal way to get there? And I decided no, right? My background's in finance, so I worked at Merrill Lynch, New York Stock Exchange. I did a lot of microcap investor relations, so I was very heavy into the public market space. And I thought that there was a faster way. And sure enough, you know, as life will treat you sometimes when you ask for something, it gives you exactly what you want, you know. And I ended up investing my time and energy into a company called 3DX Industries in February that brought me on as a director, vice president and a director in the company. And now I'm helping them uplist the New York Stock Exchange and NASDAQ. Now, when this works, this is an 8-figure payday for me, right? And more. Right, that's the baseline. Right, so it's a $50 million baseline payday when I get the job done. But really, the point of this video is you have to be brutally honest with yourself if what you're doing can take you where you want to go. You know, a lot of people have Ferrari dreams, but you know they're working in a Ford Focus, you know, industry, right? You know, champagne taste, but they're on a beer budget. So be brutally honest with yourself. Hey, is this going to take me to where I want to go? Is this going to give me the lifestyle I want? You know, I've always wanted to have, you know, a home in Florida, another estate in upstate New York, and an apartment in the city, right? If you don't feel like your job can get you the things that you want, then you got to leave. You got to move. You got to cut it off, even if it's being successful, right? Like my consulting practice is successful. Wildly successful if you compare it to, you know, a few years ago. My real estate, the same thing. You know, if you compare it to just, I didn't even own a piece of commercial real estate or residential real estate until just 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago. Now I own 36 apartments. So do I think that that could take me there? Could it have taken me there? Can it take me there? Absolutely. Is it the most efficient way? Probably not. I personally knew more efficient ways. Now, this doesn't mean that everyone has to lean into their strengths. That's another thing that made me make this decision, right? I played my first stock market game in the 8th grade. I went to school for finance. My career was in finance, and I understand the financial markets. I just understand them. It's one of my strengths. So for me to go left and try to build a business somewhere else doesn't make as much sense. As I study the greats, and that's one of my business tips, little sidebar business tips of the day. Study the greats. Study the guys that have gotten there before, right? Find out the common denominators that they have. And I've been doing that. I've downloaded every book by a billionaire ever written, and on Audible, and I'm listening. I'm constantly listening to them, whether I'm on a plane or train or car, or if I'm traveling. Even if I'm not traveling, once a day I sit down and I listen to 15, or walk around and listen to 15, 30 minutes of what these guys are talking about. And one of the common denominators that I've seen about the billionaires, and look, this isn't for everybody. Not everybody wants to be a billionaire. I want to be a billionaire. I want to be able to give away hundreds of millions of billions of dollars to causes that I want, and take care of my family, and have the financial freedom to be able to give all my loved ones what they need, or what they want, right? But one of the things I realize is that the most successful people, double down on what they've been working on for so long. So if they're working on something, they double down on that, and that gives them the strength. So ask yourself, are you in the right vehicle? Am I in the right job? Am I doing the right thing to get me to where I want to go? And if the answer is no, get out and tell them Nicky Nice told you. I hope you guys are great, man. Be great.